Hello and welcome to Pro Tour San Diego. I'm Randy Bueller. I'm here with Brian David Marshall. We're getting ready to watch the top 4 draft. We've got 4 awesome teams here. Eugene Harvey making his comeback to the Pro Tour. He's got the fever again. He's a very scary player, and John Fiorello has been the perfect teammate for him. Somebody who studied the draft. Harvey knows how to play. They're in great shape. With the random pairings, they are faced against the Japanese team of Yamamoto and Takahashi, and there you see the team we're going to watch draft. Lachman and Van Lunen. I've been calling them the Sliver Kids.
We've been talking about them since round 3 when they poisoned Eugene Harvey and John Fiorello to death. Something they interestingly did in playtesting prior to the event also. They also poisoned Eugene Harvey to death back in New Jersey.
6 Sliver decks out of 7 draft pods so far. I talked to them before the draft. They said they'll draft Slivers if it's there, but they don't want to force it. There's Telekinetic.
Telekinetic and Screech, they're going to take
Rift Bolt. Oh, Bone Splitter. They have not had a Bone Splitter all weekend. 0 mites, 0 Bone Splitters the entire weekend. They finally busted some real Slivers instead of trying to make do with all the garbage you want. Do you really take Slivers over Rift Bolt here, though? Or do you they look like they might ship a Telekinetic.
If you're forcing Slivers, I don't think they can afford to let any premier Slivers go.
But it's a signal.
Because Fiorello and Harvey will counter-draft Slivers.
Sure.
And I believe they're being fed by Harvey.
Well, one trick they do sometimes is to ship a decent Sliver just to see if it comes back or not.
Right.
They went double Sliver. They're shipping a Rift Bolt in order to be able to take Bone Splitter and Telekinetic.
13 cards. Collect the cards.
All right. What else is going on? We pick up a pack. And... oh, is that an Essence Sliver?
It is an Essence Sliver.
Nice. And
Haunting Him,
that's got to be a good
Cannonade.
sign. Not much else in the pack either. Essence Sliver's the obvious pick here.
Well,
so they are in fact being fed by Harvey and Fiorello.
It is interesting to note that for all of Fiorello's talk that he would counter-draft Slivers,
Yeah.
they have a very different strategy that's not going to allow them to take any Slivers early on. They're very defensive-minded. They're on the draw.
Yeah, the Harvey and Fiorello very much. This is beatdown versus control. Harvey and Fiorello want to draft the control deck. Van Lunen and Lachman want to draft the aggro deck and Slivers if they can get it. So it sounds like Harvey and Fiorello took an Air Ephemeron and a Stranglehold Soot out of that first pack, shipping the Essence Sliver, which is exactly what Lachman and Van Lunen wanted.
Shuffle and lay out the booster to
Now
your
what?
left. There should be 11 cards. Collect booster. You have 40 seconds.
I don't see any Slivers.
No Slivers. But Slivers' best friend, Terramorphic Expanse, is in the pack.
And maybe a Cloud Chaser Kestrel?
Cloud Chaser Kestrel. We see even an Ashcoat Bear. They've got near the top of the pack.
That guy doesn't seem like he goes here. I guess if you want the aggro, maybe. Wipe away. They've also shuffled to the top. I think I'd go Expanse and Kestrel here. Got to take the Expanse, right? They're going to get enough cards.
Because you get to play with 2 players,
5 seconds.
and you can split up your colors, you don't rely on Expanse as much as you do in a normal individual Sliver deck, but they did take Expanse.
Still, I mean, if you want 5 colors worth of Slivers, then somebody's got to run 3.
30 seconds.
They've been cutting green lately.
There's the dreaded Shadow
Is that a
Sliver.
Bone Splitter?
I believe it was a 2-headed Sliver and a Shadow Sliver in the pack.
2-headed Sliver.
And they shuffled them right to the top.
Yeah, 2-headed and Shadow.
Shadow Sliver was their killing blow in the last round to get into the top 4.
Yeah.
They Shadow Slivered, and that was it. The other team was able to buy 1 turn with a Dawn Charm, but that was it.
5 seconds.
So now this will be their pack coming back to them,
Shuffle and
right?
lay out the booster to your left. There should be 7 cards.
It should be, and then
Yeah,
there was.
cards. I don't think they. Well, it was a Telekinetic Sliver. There's no way that's coming
Then they
back.
took Telekinetic and
Oh no, you're right. They've taken
Bone
every
Splitter.
Sliver they've seen.
and the Screeching
Oh,
Sliver.
the Screeching Sliver came back.
Which they had briefly considered.
They'll
taking.
totally take Screeching Sliver. And they did deck people on day 1 with that guy.
That was their first 2 wins, actually, were with Screeching Sliver.
And Heddleheaven and Abrams get that 1-2 out of the draft pool.
Well, I mean, they do have a fair share of 1-1 slivers in their draft cards.
Yeah, maybe you just run it.
Pendlehaven Elder is quite good for them.
Now, the way this works out, you've got 2 people. There's 5 colors. Obviously, 2 color decks are way more consistent.
Wow,
than 3.
look at this.
Vanillage Cavalry is still in that pack? What on earth? And Calciform pulls over Flickering Spirit. They are dedicated to the beatdown, passing on the 4-mana 2/2 flyer.
Collect the cards.
So now the players are playing across from each other?
Yes, they play across, which means Lockman and Von Lunen will play Kaneko and Taru, and then Fiorello Harvey will play Yamamoto Takahashi.
Collect the last card. You have 60 seconds to review.
So how are their colors lining up? I've noticed them just not playing green lately. I think that as the word of their sliver strategy got around, everybody was like, oh, poison, poison, poison. They actually thanked me over the lunch break for the podcast that we did. That day 2 wrap, everyone thinks it's all about the Virulent Sliver. So everyone is like wasting removal on Virulent Sliver. They said that they think they won, they clinched this top 4 in the last round because their opponents Rift Bolted a Virulent Sliver instead of Sinnoh.
Yeah, in fact, and they only had one Virulent Sliver in that draft, and it was almost there as a decoy.
Yeah, it was sucking up the removal. It was a lightning rod. It was like a flag bearer.
They said, if my opponent kills a Virulent Sliver, then I win.
Right. So they've clearly got blue. They've got some nice white aggro. And the red. And so black or green is probably what they're going to be looking for. Well, they didn't see a black card the whole time. Yeah, I guess if Harvey and Fiorello first pick the soot, they're
just hoovering up all the removal.
Yeah. Which is their strategy. Harvey and Fiorello just want removal, and the cheaper the better. They take Midnight Charm.
It was really interesting. Talking to Fiorello and Harvey over lunch. They talked about how they always draw.
Yeah, they always draw.
They're always defensive minded, and they admitted that they're always on their heels. And that's exactly the kind of strategy that Lockman and Van Lunen's draft strategy punishes.
Yes, great shot.
Great shot.
And
not a sliver to be seen.
You just take the removal here, right?
Absolutely.
Grape Shot and Strangling so into the pile.
You know, people talk about how as good as Grape Shot is in singles, in Two-Headed Giant, it's just...
When your opponent can feed a bunch of spells, or your teammate can feed a bunch of spells into it, it's awesome.
Just absurd.
Now, interestingly, you're talking about Harvey and Fiorello being on their back foot. That's the same strategy Ben Rubin was using, and Ben Rubin lost to these guys.
And didn't really lose to a really
wasn't a great draw.
Well executed sliver strategy. I mean, the deck was fine, but like the way that came out, they just killed them with 1/1s. It looked like.
Well, I mean, it was one drop. It was turn 3 Calcifer.
I guess when
and
I got
a bunch of slivers. The turn 3 Calcifer got full value, 15 damage.
Nightshade Assassin and
Nightshade Assassin.
Two-Headed Sliver. Two-Headed Sliver has actually been a really undersung hero for these guys this weekend.
Are they going to ship? There's an Assassinate in the back, too. They might ship Nightshade Assassin over to Harvey and Fiorello.
I have a feeling they're going to take Nightshade Assassin and Assassinate and then let the 2 slivers table.
They already have one of each, right?
Yes. They're looking at all the green that's in the pack.
Yeah, that's true.
They're saying, look at all this green. People obviously have to take all this. I think we'll get at least one of these back.
I would take Nightshade Assassin here.
Well, I mean, they don't have any backup. No.
They're going 2-Head and Shadow. Wow. What a gift for Harvey and Fiorello.
11 cards.
And you get an Assassinate out of that, too.
Yeah.
Collect the cards. You have 40 seconds.
Spinneret
Nice
Sliver.
little Spinneret Sliver.
And good old Momentary Blink.
Fine card. Fine pack for this point, I would think. They're not heavily in green. I guess they're kind of spread across all 5 colors now. Yeah. But I mean, they got plenty of time. You get enough cards in this format, too. You don't have to know the details right now.
And you have Evolution Charm in the second pack to fix your mana.
Not a creature splash, but yeah.
Well, I mean, that changes a lot. A lot of the times, the color flow in this format tends to go in the second packs and the second set of packs and the third set of